K-Ration. Before the famous MRE, American soldiers carried a meal that could fit inside a jacket pocket. Developed in 1942 by physiologist Dr. Ansel Keys, the K-Ration was built for paratroopers, tank crews, and troops operating beyond supply lines. Instead of heavy cans, each day's food came in 3 small, wax-coated boxes labeled breakfast, dinner, and supper. Inside were canned meat or cheese, crackers, chocolate, coffee, chewing gum, sugar, and because it was the 1940s, even cigarettes. Together, the 3 boxes provided about 2,800 calories, enough for short missions, but not prolonged combat. The Army intended the K-Ration to last only a few days, yet many soldiers survived on it for weeks, leading to weight loss, vitamin deficiencies, and constant hunger. Despite its flaws, the K-Ration transformed military logistics. For the first time, airborne troops could carry several days of food without hauling heavy steel cans, laying the foundation for every lightweight combat ration that followed. C-Ration. If the K-Ration was built for mobility, the C-Ration was built to survive almost anything. Introduced before World War II, every meal came sealed inside rugged steel cans that could withstand years of storage, tropical humidity, mud, and rough transport without refrigeration. Soldiers received hearty entrees like beef stew, meat and beans, or the infamous ham and lima beans. The meals also included crackers, cheese, coffee, cocoa, candy, and chewing gum, delivering roughly 3,700 calories per day. The downside was weight. A full day's supply could approach 10 pounds, forcing soldiers to carry even more on top of their weapons and equipment. Opening the cans required the tiny P38 can opener, a folding tool barely 2 inches long that became one of the most iconic pieces of gear ever issued. Many veterans kept theirs long after leaving the Army. In Vietnam, soldiers sometimes received cans packed years earlier during the Korean War. They improvised field recipes by mixing crackers into stews or heating cans over burning C4 explosive, which produced enough heat to cook food without detonating. The C-Ration proved canned meals could feed soldiers almost anywhere, but it also proved they were simply too heavy for modern warfare. LRRP ration. By the Vietnam War, every extra pound could determine whether a mission succeeded or failed. Long-range reconnaissance patrol teams spent days behind enemy lines, carrying everything they needed on their backs. Heavy canned meals weren't practical anymore, so the Army introduced the LRRP ration. Instead of cans, the food was freeze-dried, removing almost all the water while preserving the meal. The result weighed roughly 1/3 as much as older rations. Soldiers could carry beef stew, spaghetti, chicken and rice, scrambled eggs, and fruit in lightweight pouches that only required hot water to prepare. A day's worth of LRRP rations provided around 3,000 calories, while freeing up space for extra ammunition, batteries, radios, or medical supplies. The only catch was water. Without it, the meal stayed dry and far less enjoyable. More importantly, the LRRP introduced a preservation method that would influence not only future military rations, but also modern backpacking meals and emergency survival food. MRE. The MRE didn't just replace older rations, it redefined military food. Officially adopted in 1981, the meal ready to eat abandoned steel cans in favor of lightweight retort pouches, durable multi-layer packages that survive parachute drops, harsh climates, and years of storage, while weighing far less than metal containers. Today's menus include everything from chili and beef stew, chicken burrito bowls, and even pepperoni pizza, alongside crackers, spreads, desserts, drink mixes, and small comfort items like candy or gum. Each MRE provides roughly 1,250 calories, so soldiers typically eat 3 each day during combat operations. Its most famous feature is the flameless ration heater. Add a splash of water, and a magnesium-based chemical reaction heats the meal in about 10 minutes without fire, smoke, or visible light, allowing troops to eat hot food almost anywhere. Modern MREs come in more than 20 menu varieties, including vegetarian options, and recipes are regularly updated using feedback from active duty soldiers. Some become favorites, others become trade bait the moment they're opened. Stored at cool temperatures, an MRE can remain edible for up to 5 years. Since the Gulf War, they've fed American troops across Iraq, Afghanistan, and countless training exercises, while also becoming popular with hikers, campers, survivalists, and emergency responders. More than 40 years after its introduction, the MRE remains one of the most influential field rations ever developed, not because it's gourmet, but because it solved a problem every army faces, delivering a complete meal almost anywhere on Earth. First strike ration. Sometimes, stopping to eat is more dangerous than staying hungry. By the early 2000s, the US Army realized modern combat had changed. Soldiers clearing buildings, riding convoys, or conducting fast-moving operations often couldn't afford to unpack and heat an MRE. So in 2007, the Army introduced the first strike ration, a full day's food designed to be eaten while moving. Instead of one large meal, the ration is packed with portable foods like tortillas, peanut butter, beef jerky, trail mix, energy bars, applesauce, crackers, and one particularly unusual item, caffeinated chewing gum. Because the caffeine is absorbed through the lining of the mouth, it reaches the bloodstream much faster than a cup of coffee. Despite its compact size, the ration delivers nearly 2,900 calories, carefully balanced to provide steady energy throughout an entire day of high-intensity activity. Nearly everything can be opened with one hand and eaten cold, allowing soldiers to stay focused on the mission instead of preparing food. The first strike ration isn't meant to replace the MRE. It's designed for the first 24 hours of combat, when every minute matters, and even stopping for lunch can become a tactical risk. Cold weather ration. In the Arctic, surviving the cold can require more energy than fighting the enemy. A soldier operating in sub-zero temperatures can burn well over 4,500 calories a day simply trying to stay warm. To meet those demands, the US military developed the cold weather ration, a specialized meal built for Arctic and high-altitude missions. Most of the food is freeze-dried to reduce weight while preventing meals from freezing into solid blocks. Menus include hearty pasta dishes, stews, soups, oatmeal, nuts, chocolate, coffee, and other high-fat foods that help generate body heat over long periods. Preparing the meals often begins with melting snow, making clean water almost as valuable as ammunition. Cold weather creates other challenges too. Bread turns rock hard, candy becomes brittle enough to crack teeth, and ordinary packaging can become difficult to open while wearing insulated gloves. With more than 4,000 calories packed into a single day's food, the cold weather ration isn't about comfort. It's about giving the body enough fuel to keep functioning in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Humanitarian Daily Ration, HDR. Not every military ration is made for soldiers. Introduced during the 1990s, the Humanitarian Daily Ration was created for civilians caught in wars, natural disasters, and humanitarian crises. Unlike combat rations, the goal isn't battlefield performance. It's keeping people alive until aid arrives. To avoid religious and cultural dietary restrictions, every HDR is completely vegetarian. Each package contains roughly 2,200 calories, including ready-to-eat meals, crackers, peanut butter, fruit bars, cookies, drink powders, and utensils. Nothing requires heating, allowing people to eat immediately without equipment or fuel. The bright packaging serves another purpose. During humanitarian airdrops, thousands of meals can be scattered across large areas, and the vivid color makes them much easier to spot among rubble, fields, or vegetation. Although they share technology with military rations, HDRs represent a very different mission. They're designed not to help win wars, but to help civilians survive them. Survival ration. Some military food isn't designed to taste good. It's designed to keep you alive. Survival rations are issued to pilots, air crews, lifeboats, and emergency escape kits for one reason. They may be stranded for days with little hope of rescue. Instead of full meals, they contain dense emergency food bars packed with calories, vitamins, and almost no moisture. A package no larger than a paperback book can provide more than 2,000 calories while remaining edible for years. The bars are intentionally bland because researchers found that delicious food encourages people to eat too much too quickly. A plain, biscuit-like flavor helps survivors ration their supplies until help arrives. The packaging is equally important. It's waterproof, crush-resistant, and built to survive aircraft crashes, rough seas, and extreme weather. Many kits also include emergency water, fishing gear, flares, and signal mirrors. Fortunately, most survival rations are never opened, but for the people carrying them, those small compressed bars could one day mean the difference between life and death. Close Combat Assault Ration, CCAR. The newest U.S. military ration wasn't designed to replace the MRE. It was designed to replace time. Officially transitioned for Department of Defense-wide procurement in 2025, the Close Combat Assault Ration, or CCAR, is the next evolution of the First Strike ration. Modern battlefields often demand that soldiers move continuously for hours without stopping to unpack a traditional meal. So the Army built a ration that could be eaten almost entirely on the move. Instead of a single large entree, CCAR is filled with compact, high-energy foods like tortillas, nut butters, meat snacks, carbohydrate chews, energy bars, trail mix, drink powders, and caffeinated products that can be opened and eaten within seconds. Every item is selected to deliver maximum calories while taking up as little space and weight as possible. Like the First Strike ration, CCAR provides roughly a full day's nutrition, but it reflects decades of new research into human performance. Military scientists studied how soldiers eat during real combat operations, designing foods that reduce preparation time, minimize waste, and maintain steady energy during prolonged, high-intensity missions. CCAR represents a broader shift in military nutrition. Instead of asking, how do we feed a soldier, the Army is now asking, how do we help a soldier perform at their absolute best? Food is no longer viewed as just survival. It has become another piece of battlefield equipment.